This is Find Your Dream Job, the podcast that helps you get hired, have the career you want, and make a difference in life. I'm your host, Mac Pritchard. I'm also the founder of Mac's List. It's a job board in the Pacific Northwest that helps you find a fulfilling career. Every Wednesday, I talk to a different expert about the tools you need to get the work you want. Find Your Dream Job is brought to you by Top Resume. Top Resume has helped more than 400,000 professionals land more interviews and get hired faster. Get a free review of your resume today. Go to maxlist.org/topresume. A career coach can make a big difference in a job search. Do you think about working with one? Sonja Price joins us to discuss if you should work with a career coach and what to look for. She's a top career strategist, salary advisor, and leadership expert. Sonja helps professionals find work with greater meaning, better work-life balance, and higher pay. And she joins us from Seattle, Washington. Well, let's jump right into it, Sonja. How can a career coach help a job seeker?
Well, a career coach can help a job seeker in a number of different ways. I think first and foremost, the role of a really high quality career coach is to help a job seeker identify the clarity in what they really need to pursue their life's work, their mission and their vision. So oftentimes I come across candidates that they think they might be really clear on what they're looking for, but when they actually go to search for a job in the job market, they may have a very confused search process where they're searching for a wide variety of different titles or looking at different industries or different organizations. So the more that you can clarify your overall goals and vision and mission and ensure that's in alignment with longer term, like short and long term career goals, and that you actually have this very strategic career roadmap that you're working from so that you know how to advance your career over time. This is oftentimes what a career coach can help you with, is clarifying your mission and vision and ensuring that each and every single step that you take in your career is going to lead you to even bigger and better opportunities over time.
Why can't a job seeker do that on their own, Sonja? Why do they need to turn to a coach?
Well, they certainly can do it on their own if they have that clarity. Sometimes I find that, working with a career coach, someone who has the bigger picture vision can help you identify what other opportunities might be a good idea for you to pursue. So just like you might reach out to a mentor or a sponsor, someone who has gone before you that has expertise in your field, maybe they have the oversight to give you that strategic vision to help you understand, okay, hey, here are some ideas, some options to consider. Here's some action steps. Here's some people you might want to talk to. And if you do these things, it's going to continue to broaden your horizon and, give you that more strategic roadmap to work from.
What are the signs that you might not be clear about your clarity? Some listeners may think, well, yes, I'm not sure what I want to do. That would be terrific to get some help. But you mentioned that sometimes you meet job seekers who think they know what they want, but they actually could benefit from additional work on getting clarity. What are the signs that a job seeker might be in those circumstances?
Yeah, I mean, a couple clues that I often look for is, sometimes when people come to me, they're saying, I don't really know what I want in my career. Or they're saying, I'm really burnt out. I've done this thing for X number of years, but I want something new and different. Or they start their job search and they're not very clear about what actual titles that they should be looking for. And that could show up in terms of, sometimes I work with project managers that might be better suited for a program management or a product management role. Or, I work with someone who has been a chief of staff, but perhaps they should actually be looking at director of operation roles. Or, they've had kind of an ad hoc career. They've just kind of patched together a variety of different jobs. This happens a lot, actually. I talk to people who, they've had quite a bit of luck in their career. They've had specific jobs that have been offered to them. they were strong in a specific skill set in a specific way, and they were the perfect person for that job at that time in their career. But now they're at a crossroads. Maybe they're considering something different, or maybe they've grown their skill set in a certain area and they want to be able to utilize that skill set more, but they don't know what are the actual job titles that they should be searching for or pursuing, or they don't know how to position themselves in the right way. So that positioning is so key in knowing that if you want to go after a specific role in your resume, you can't just say, I've done this and this and this and this and this, if this and this and this and this and this is not the exact thing of what they're hiring for. So if you're looking to make any kind of significant transition as you move into the next phase of your career, you want to ensure that you really know how to position yourself in the right way for that specific type of role. So there's many, many clues that I look for. Those are just a few of them. And those are things that listeners might want to pay attention to see, is it time for them to work with a career coach? And if so, why or for what reason?
You mentioned at the start of our conversation that career coaches can help bring clarity about career goals. And then a moment ago, you talked about how a coach can help position you for that next position once you have clarity about where you want to go. What are some other common services that a typical career coach might offer?
Yeah, so career coaching spans the full spectrum of helping a candidate or a job seeker gain clarity on what they're looking for, then knowing how to position themselves in the right way so that they can feasibly land the roles of what they have identified in that first initial phase of, clarifying your career roadmap and knowing exactly what you're going after. Um, and part of this is knowing how to position yourself over time. So it's like, what's your next role? But you also want to be thinking beyond that, not just what's your next role, but what's the next role after that going to be, so that whatever job you move into next, that's actually well positioning you for the future. So there's this very big picture that you want to be taking into consideration. So it's, achieving clarity in your career roadmap, it's in the positioning, and that can show up through your resume and through your LinkedIn profile, as well as a cover letter, or what I actually refer to as a networking letter, which is how you reach out and engage with people. And then that gets into, job search techniques. And there's a variety of different ways that you can go about your job search. Some of them are much more strategic rather than others. And then, interview support. And again, through the interviewing and networking, you really want to make sure that you're positioning yourself in the exact right way. I think oftentimes people fall into a trap of they just tend to talk about their past background and history, and they have a lot of success to pull from. But are they featuring the right success stories for the right audience at the right time? So when you work with a career coach, they're going to help you know how to position yourself, but it's really about knowing how to market and sell yourself. And then we also look at salary negotiation and total comp negotiation. So, are you ensuring that you are maximizing your earning potential? And are you accepting the right type of opportunity? And then moving forward from there, a career coach can also help you ensure that you continue to advance your career moving forward. So once you land your new role, do you hit the ground running? Are you building a strong foundation for yourself? What's the kind of reputation that you're building for yourself in your new workplace? Are you getting introduced to key influencers and key decision makers? Are you doing that internal networking where you're getting the right exposure that is then going to help, open up opportunities for promotion and for you to work on the strategic level projects that's going to continue to help you advance your career forward over time?
Often when job seekers think about getting professional advice during a search, two items come to mind. One is a resume and the other is the LinkedIn page. Is that something you should turn to a career coach for help with, Sonja, or are there specialists who focus just on, say, updating resumes or building LinkedIn pages?
Yeah, a career coach can definitely help you with those components, and they should. That should be a core component of their offering. However, there are also resume experts and LinkedIn experts who only focus on, one or two of those things. If you're super clear on what you want, what you're moving towards, and you could, with articulate clarity, be able to tell a resume writer, this is exactly what I want my resume to say. Like, build me a resume and a LinkedIn profile for this type of job. Then, maybe a resume writer or LinkedIn profile writer could be a good fit for you. But if you're lacking that clarity, I would strongly recommend working with a career coach first, and then they can probably also continue to help you with the resume and LinkedIn profile. And make sure that whoever you're working with, if you are going to work with a career coach, try to find somebody that can give you that high level overview support to where they are helping you build out that very strategic career roadmap so that you're not just getting another job, you're actually moving towards something that's going to give you an even bigger and better, more fulfilling and more rewarding career over the short and long term.
Well, terrific. I want to take a break, Sonja, but when we come back, I know you have a list of tips that you recommend job seekers follow when hiring a coach, and I'd like to go through those. So stay with us. When we return after the break, Sonja Price will continue to share her advice about not only how you should work with a career coach, but what to look for when you're ready to hire one. Stay with us. Coaches can help you with your resume too. Find out what an expert thinks of your resume. Go to maxlist.org/top resume. A professional writer at Top Resume will review your resume for free. Go to maxlist.org/top resume. You can use what Top Resume tells you to fix your resume yourself, or you can hire Top Resume to do it for you. Go to maxlist.org/top resume. Now, let's get back to the show. We're back in the Max List studio. I'm talking with Sonja Price. She's a top career strategist, salary advisor, and leadership expert. Sonja helps professionals find work with greater meaning, better work-life balance, and higher pay. And she joins us from Seattle, Washington. Now, Sonja, before the break, we were talking about why you might work with a career coach. And now let's talk about what to look for when you're ready to hire a career coach. You've got a set of tips that you share with your clients and when they're considering hiring a coach. The first step you recommend a job seeker take is to be clear about the coaching you need. Tell us more about that, Sonja. Why is that important?
Well, if you are looking for a career coach, you definitely want to find someone who can help you find the clarity that you need in your career, which means that you might want to find somebody who has, a plethora of experience working in your field. For myself, I work with a lot of clients who are in tech. I'm very specialized in tech. I know the job market. I know what companies typically hire for what the average pay ranges are across each of those companies. And so when you're looking for a career coach, you definitely want to find somebody who has that strategic oversight in the area that you're looking to move into or move towards. I think you should also be looking for, does that career coach have what other results? What are the results that they've produced with other clients? What are the results that they've produced within your field? Have they worked with people like you before? And you can look online for folks. You can ask for referrals. You should definitely be looking, what are the results that they produce with other clients? You should look through their website. Does this person resonate with you? Can you imagine yourself working with them? What would a typical coaching call look like with them? Most career coaches are going to offer a complimentary consultation. I highly recommend, taking advantage of that, and maybe actually even look for a few different types of career coaches. Go through a couple different complimentary consultations, interview them, ask them all the questions that you want to, and identify, are they giving you complete and comprehensive answers? Do you see this as someone who's really going to be able to help you accomplish your goals? have they produced the similar types of results for other people that you've worked with? What is their professional experience? Did they work in a previous type of position like that themselves? Are they a former recruiter? Are they a former executive? What have they done in their past background and history, and what makes them qualified to be the one to serve you at this point in and juncture in your career right now?
I like your emphasis on asking about results that prospective coaches produce for other clients. Are there common results that you should expect every coach to talk about that you should consider when making a decision about hiring?
I have found that every career coach is a little bit different, and some differences in what I've seen across different types of career coaches is there are some coaches who tend to be a little bit more focused on, let me dig in and help you understand your personality, and let's figure out who are you and what do you love and what would be, this ideal job out there for you. And then there's other career coaches who are, well, how much money do you want to make? And let's identify the specific opportunities that can help you make that kind of money. And then there's coaches that merge those two things together. And then there's probably other types of coaches as well. I think you probably want to be looking for someone who has a very comprehensive approach across all of those areas. And I found that most coaches kind of lean one way or another. I am a big fan of practical. Like I like to help individuals find exactly what it is that they're looking for, but I also want to marry that with the job market. So we want to be looking for feasible opportunities for individuals to do what they love, but also make sure that there's a plethora of those kinds of opportunities in the marketplace. And not only that, but let's make sure that there's a plethora of those kinds of opportunities that also pay within the pay range of what people are looking for. I like to help people make really big jumps in their career. So, I typically work with people who are making pretty big transformations in their career, whether they're looking to move into leadership, move into a higher level of leadership, they're looking to reinvent themselves and do something new and different that they've never done before, or they're looking to make a pretty big jump in their income where they're looking to make 20, 30, 50, $100,000 more per year than what they were previously making.
You mentioned reaching out and interviewing several prospective career coaches. Do you have a minimum number you recommend, Sonja?
I think whatever feels right to you. Sometimes you might meet with one career coach and you're like, this is it. This is my person. Let's do it. Let's dive in. Other times you might want to keep looking until you really, you find that. I always look for what's that internal yes. When you meet with someone, is it like, oh, yes, this is my person. This is my expert. This is my guide. And so, you may need to meet with 5 or 6 people before you find that individual, or maybe you keep looking until you find that exact perfect fit that's the specialist in your field. I I don't think that depending upon where you're looking and where you're finding people, you might want to meet with 2 or 3 or 4, but I don't think that there's a set number of folks that you should meet with. I think it's just more important to find the right fit, the right fit for you from an expertise perspective, from a personality perspective, and probably also from a budget perspective as well.
You mentioned budget. Let's talk about pricing. How do you recommend having that conversation with a coach a job seeker might be considering hiring?
Yeah, many coaches will have their pricing on their website, or it might be through a conversation over a consultation. I recommend having that consultation no matter what, because usually the coach is going to have some recommendations on which package or which offering is going to be the best fit for you, based on your needs and your desires, and what are the goals that you're trying to accomplish. Just to talk about some common prices. Earlier we talked about, the differences between a resume writer and a career coach. There's also like life coaches and executive coaches. I found that if you're looking for a resume writer, it's probably going to be somewhere between, a couple $100 to $1,000. If you're looking to work with a career coach, you're probably looking somewhere between $1,000 to maybe even up to $20,000, depending upon your level, your title, your background, your expertise. And then, if you're looking for like an executive coach, maybe it's going to be more between 10,000 and 50,000.
What about the length of an engagement for a career coach? Is there a typical period, a month, several months? What's been your experience?
That's a really great question. I'm so glad that you brought that up. Generally, my goal is to help clients find a new job within 1 to 6 months. 1 month, I typically see that as being the minimum, usually because first initially, we're looking to lay that background and foundation, getting your career roadmap built out, getting some of those core foundational pieces in place, your resume, your LinkedIn profile, talking about your job search. Folks who are unemployed, if they have a little bit more time to dedicate to the process, it'll probably move a little bit quicker. If you are employed and you want to be a little bit more selective about the types of roles that you're looking for, probably between, I'd say, 2 to 4 months is usually kind of a sweet spot of landing a new role. And then sometimes depending upon the level, the higher up that you are, if you're in a higher ranking leadership position, sometimes that can take longer to find the specific exact right type of job for you. So maybe that might take 6 months or maybe even a little bit longer. Typically I work with people, anywhere from, my packages, I usually work with people from 6 to 9 months. Like the packages are good for 6 to 9 months, but folks will oftentimes get the results that they're looking for significantly faster than that.
Finally, I know that you recommend paying attention to chemistry when you're considering hiring someone as a career coach. Tell us more about why that matters and how can you tell if the chemistry is good when you're considering someone?
Yeah. I mean, having hired a number of coaches on my own for myself, life coaches, executive, like leadership coaches when I was working in corporate. Even now that I have my own business, I've hired a whole variety of business coaches. And I have found over time, finding someone that is a good personality match. And what I mean by that is, it's not like they don't need to be your best friend, but we do need to find someone who's going to listen to you, who's going to help ask the right types of questions. They're going to nudge you and push you to move beyond your comfort zone. So can you find someone who has that right type of approach for you? And sometimes that might mean actually asking for them to coach you in the way that you want to be coached. And sometimes when I meet with clients, I ask them, what kind of coach are you looking for here? Do you want someone who's going to shoot straight with you, get right to the point, no fluff, and just get right to it? Or are you looking for someone that can be a little bit more gentle and kind? And so finding the right coach who can flex on that with you and that you just immediately feel like there's a good fit there. Sometimes I find that coaches, people in general in the world, we don't have enough active listening in this world. So can you find someone who actually listens to the full extent of what you need to communicate so you can get it out there, what you want and what you need without going into too much story? So I find that there is kind of this happy medium of finding someone who will listen to you, but is also not going to let you, go on and on and on with various different stories that they're going to help you get to the point in a very quick and succinct way, but that they can be kind and compassionate along the process. When you're a job seeker, sometimes this is a really hard process, right? Especially if you've been laid off or if you've been unemployed for a period of time. Maybe you need someone who can be really compassionate and understanding of your situation and can help you overcome, any potential hurdles or blocks or confidence challenges. And you want someone who can listen to you and help you move beyond it so you can build up that confidence and get out there and go for it and go for what you actually want and not just settle and accept the next thing that comes along, but that you're actually going to find something that truly is a good fit for you and that is enough of a stretch to help you continue to grow your career, but not so big that you're going to be, full of anxiety and panicking as you move forward.
Well, it's been a terrific conversation, Sonja. Now, tell us what's next for you.
Well, I just launched a new masterclass Um, it is called How to Make $20,000 to $100,000 or more per year by making one simple change to your career. You can find it at dynamoincome.com. That's dynamoincome.com, dynamoincome.com. And there I will tell you how to make one simple change to your career that can help you make up to $20,000 to $100,000 more per year.
Well, terrific. I know listeners can also learn more about your other services by visiting your website, dynamocareers.com, and that you invite listeners to connect with you on LinkedIn. And if they do reach out, I hope they'll mention they heard you on Find Your Dream Job. Now, Sonja, given all the great advice you've shared today, what's the one thing you want a listener to remember about if you should work with a career coach and what to look for if you do?
To anyone out there who's considering working with a career coach, I just really encourage you to, go after your dreams and don't settle for less. And if a career coach is the expert guide to help you get there, then please, engage with them and utilize their services to the fullest. Career coaches, we're here to help you. It is our passion. It is our mission to be here to serve and guide you. So if you want something bigger in your career, go for it and find the right type of expert to help you get there.
Make sure you never miss an episode of Find Your Dream Job. Subscribe to our free podcast newsletter. You'll get information about our guests and transcripts of every show. Go to maxlist.org/newsletters. Again, that's maxlist.org/newsletters. Next week, our guest will be Teja Bagadia. She's a LinkedIn top voice and an award-winning talent leader. Teja helps people learn what recruiters want through her blog, LinkedIn articles, and social media posts. Research shows that women are less likely than men to negotiate salary offers. Why does this happen, and what can women do differently? Join us next Wednesday when Teja Bagadia and I talk about how women don't negotiate salaries and how to do it well. Until next time, thanks for letting us help you find your dream job. This show is produced by Max List. Susan Thornton Huff schedules our guests and writes our newsletter. Lisa Kislin-Barry Anderson manages our social media. Our sound engineer is Matt Fiorillo. Ryan Morrison at Podfly Productions edits the show. Dawn Mole creates our transcripts, and our music is by Freddie Trujillo. This is Mac Pritchard. See you next week.